will extend to the corporate, the sponsors, and we'll then get to know who really is responsible and what their target was. But for now, the police is saying it cannot tell, and we discussed that yesterday. However, the governor yesterday did say that, hey, is it yesterday or today? I think. He said, see. That explosion was to make the state look as if the state is unsafe. He said, remember they had called for a state of emergency. Remember they said that, the president should dive in and ensure that, there is a sole administrator ruling River State, because in their opinion, River State is unsafe. Now, according to the report in-house bulletin, River State Governor Simnalai Fubara says the failed detonation of an explosive device inside Hotel Presidential on Tuesday was an attempt to portray River State as unsafe. Governor Fubara said this when the Senate Committee on Privatization and Commercialization, led by Senator Oji Uzokadu, paid him a visit at the government house on Wednesday. So that's yesterday. I was right. He said the failed attack targeted the facility, which was accommodating high-profile individuals, including members of the Senate Committee, to justify the call for a state of emergency in the state. So, not my words, the governor's words. And once again, while we are waiting on the police to do the professional work, I should remind you that the governor is the chief security officer of the state. But things are really getting interesting in River State. I hope it once again does not snowball into a situation where we all would be running helter-skelter, because violence is never the answer. But let's take a listen to the governor.
Yesterday, while they are aware you were here, there was an attempt to create heavy problem. In fact, there was a plan to dynamite the presidential hotel because you were there. The idea was, when you were hearing state of emergency, is so that when people are sitting tomorrow, they will say somebody from this state who called you people to tell you not to come will now raise issue of state of emergency. After distinguished colleagues, when people went to the station water, you know everything that's happening, and you know it. Everybody knows. What we are doing is to defend ourselves.
Yes, was it yesterday or the day before we asked the question, what really is the problem as it relates to, this crisis? And I think the governor is saying, he'd be like, I would summarize it, and I'm trying to, say what the governor is saying in a lighter note. But I guess the governor was saying that basically it's about control. But control of what exactly? I wonder if the governor would expound on that.
It's painful because this situation is not a situation of two opposition, two enemies. It's just an in-house fight of control. Control of what? Nothing. You can only sit on one seat. You can't sit on two. You can only be in one room at a time. As we are here, I can't be here and also be in another section. So what are we fighting for? Vanity. And at the end, vanity.
So when the governor says control of I'm confused. I mean, like I said, we talked about it on Wednesday, right? What are they really fighting for? Do we really know the supporters who are chanting songs and cheering? Do they really know? Because we're just fighting for control. Control of what? Control of nothing. I'm confused there. But let's take a listen to what he said.
Where on earth can 10 of a local government chairman be located? Is it that the constitution that governs Nigeria is different from the one that operates in River State? Why should it be that when it comes to the case of River State, the law is always silent? Is it that there is somebody bigger than Nigeria? In this Federal Republic of Nigeria, I don't think there is any governor that can take 10% of what I've tolerated in this state. And I know that all those things are distraction. So I need to focus on the ball.
All right, so you had the governor question the judiciary like we have been. But Mr. Governor, Your Excellency, please tell us what the problem really is. Remember, we are supposedly the employers, right? So please tell your employers what the problem is. Why is there this political crisis that has lingered Because I don't know if others don't want to know. Maybe I want to know. But anyways, that's my first big story. Interesting, right? But let's look at the second one. The second one has got to do with the local government, and yet again another lingering political situation in Rivers State. And this time the Rivers CSO, or a Rivers CSO, has come out to say, hey, RISIEC, all of a sudden you want to conduct local government elections, or you now are going to reel out guidelines. You're going to reel out timetable for local government elections July 1. My goodness, where have you been all this while? Okay, I'm not gonna say what they did not say, but let's read. Let's read what is in the bulletin. The Rivers State Independent Election Commission (RISIEC) begins the process for the conduct of local government elections in the state on 1st July. And as they intend to do that, the spokesman of the civil society organization in the state, Solomon Lenu, has raised some concerns. Mr. Lenu tells correspondent Soibio Ruwari that the commission will need to show proof of their sincerity following their sudden plan to conduct elections. Oh my, rivers of politics. Rivers of politics. But let's take a listen to what Solomon Lenu had to say as it relates to this very issue.
I doubt if he's here to serve the purpose of Rivers people. We've witnessed situation where impose or compel them to do an election even when there was no arrangement from the state government, even when they were not prepared, just to score a political point or just to ensure that they create crisis in the system. For RISIEC to do is to conduct an election that will be free, fair, credible, and acceptable by all parties and all Rivers people. From hindsight, you can see that RISIEC does not have all it takes to run any election.
All right, so you headed there, and I don't know, from a political angle, maybe there are concerns that we need to look into, and that's why that has made it to the big stories. So it's not because I'm siding with the CSOs, no. I'm looking at it from this angle, yeah? So RISIEC, why now? Who is funding? Where is the fund from? Is it from the state government? If it's from the state government, did the state government give them the funds all the while? Or is it now? Why is it now? These are some of the issues. If they're not being funded by the government, okay, who's funding? Like, what's his name now would ask, who's bankrolling you? So these are some of the issues. I do hear that there is supposed to be some interaction with stakeholders. I'm talking RISIEC now, interacting with stakeholders for the local government elections. But then again, these are some of the questions we need to ask so that we can get answers from RISIEC. So maybe there's some pointers in the concerns of the CSOs. But then again, they're saying they may not have the capacity. If the CSOs are arguing that RISIEC does not have the capacity, then when are we going to see elections done for local government? That's another issue, entirely another issue. But I do think I have a commercial break coming up in a few seconds. When I do come back, you and I will talk some more, and we'll talk for development. Please just stay tuned. I am Canada Kurubatabo. Rounded off with the second big story. Was I done? I think I was, because I told you about RISIEC and their concerns as it relates to local government elections. We'll take a listen to some of the things that Solomon Leno had to say.
Elders, time for religious leaders to pray for sanity of our sons and daughters who have been hypnotized politically. They have not appealed. Rather, what they did was to go and file the leave of the court to be part of the suit. The application on the leave to be part of the suit, CA/VH/137M. I'm not a lawyer, but the truth is that M means miscellaneous, and that leave has not been granted by the Court of Appeal. So in the eyes of law and civilization, there are people who are outside the room, but they are pretending to have enjoyed the happenings in the room. Magistrate Samuel will also approach the court, apply for a leave to be part of that suit.
All right, so let's look at the final big story. And the final big story, Southern governors say each state should be allowed to negotiate minimum wage. That's where we are right now. Each state. So there was some kind of meeting earlier today. Was it today or yesterday now? I'm having some problems with my date and timing. But yeah, they had a meeting. Remember, the president had stepped down, looking into the minimum wage during FEC because he wanted to interact some more with stakeholders. He wanted to interact with the governors. The governors had a meeting, but now the southern part of the governors forum have come out to say, hey, see, we would prefer if the states can negotiate their own minimum wage, not having a central minimum wage, because remember they had argued that they cannot afford the 60 or was it 62,000 minimum wage amount that was being debated some few weeks ago. They had come out to say we cannot afford that. So they are now saying each state should be allowed to negotiate. Now let's go to Channels TV's website where it is written, or there is the article, and it's captioned, each state should be allowed to negotiate minimum wage, southern governors. Now the article reads, the 17 governors from the southern part of Nigeria under the aegis of the Southern Governors Forum have advocated that each state be allowed to negotiate a new minimum wage they can pay with the labor unions. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of their meeting held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Now, the forum discussed the minimum wage issues demanded by labor and unanimously agreed that the minimum wage should be reflective of the cost of living and ability to pay, and each state should be allowed to negotiate their minimum wage, the communique partly read. In the 16-point communique, the forum called for the strengthening of fiscal federalism and devolution of powers and expressed concern over common practices where mineral licenses are issued and explorations undertaken without recourse to the state governments. All right, so they're saying, hey, what do we call it? True federalism, I guess that's what we call it, right? And so they're saying, give us true federalism. Allow each state negotiate their own minimum wage and also allow us, some level of control over the mineral resources found in our states. What is on your mind as it relates to that one? Once again, remember the Governors Forum, was it today? I think they met today, yeah, and they discussed the same issue. So we're going to even get some more fillers as it relates to the minimum wage. Labour had a meeting yesterday. We yet to hear from Labour. We yet to hear what they have agreed upon as the federal government continues to postpone the announcement, or even first of all transmission to the National Assembly and then subsequent announcement of the new minimum wage. What are your thoughts? Once again, I do think that everything is being approached the wrong way. Governors should be thinking of certain industries to help bring down the cost of living. I mean, yes, you don't have to own them, but you could invest. You could bring investors. States, I don't know if I agree with the president going on trips, or going on trips in search for investors. But I do think state governors can, come invest in my state. And if we have investors in more than half of the 36 states, I do think the prices of things will come down. Manufacturing will be done in Nigeria. Production will be done in Nigeria. Nigerians will be employed. People will be paid salaries. And of course, it will in turn reflect. Do you know how expensive things are right now? And I wonder if Labour is asking for the right thing. And I do think we are on that path that countries like, okay, maybe I shouldn't mention it. I mean, that's an unfair conversation me and my boss was having, so I wouldn't mention it. But hey, we're on a path that if we're not careful, we might get into an economic mess that we may not be able to extricate ourselves from, very quickly. And I think Labour should ask for the right things. Yeah, we need money. We need more money. Everybody needs more money. But I wonder if money can solve the economic problems that we find ourselves. But your thoughts, not mine. Let's get your thoughts. It's time for me to open the phone lines. Time for me to get your views. Time for me to hear what you want to talk about out of the three big stories that I've reeled out for you. I'm still, maybe I should put this on the side, put this one out there. I'm still waiting to get a proper reaction to, the fire incident. We're getting yes say. But I want to hear from Dangote and his group and experts as to what really the problem is. But yeah, these are my three big stories, and I'd like to get your thoughts. 0817-923-0002. Once again, 0817-923-0002. First number. Second number, 0817-923-0003. I take it again. 0817-923-0003. And then there is 0817-923-0007. I take it again, 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number for WhatsApp messages. Please, no voice notes. 0809-0306417. I like to get your thoughts as we talk for development, right? Let's get to hear what you're thinking. But let's take a peep at Simply Goodness message on. It says, Dr. D. Kalada, I'm not a doc. Trust me, I'm not. I'm not even near being a doc. But he said, Doctor of Journalism, I agree with you. When the governor said the crisis is a function of control, everyone should use their number 6 to read the writings on the wall. It's simply about control of the state's resources, which is used to fund their structure. That is the only way a Nigerian politician survives, including the governor. As for the failed explosive attempt at a bad road, it was an attempt to portray the state in bad light, but up till now, we have not heard from the police as regards the suspect. I hope it won't be swept under the carpet. Finally, I think states should be allowed to determine the minimum wages. There are other sectors that will suffer if all the money is channeled towards permanent wages. Therefore, Labour should shift their focus to stabilizing the economy. That way, purchasing power will increase, and any amount they pay will be more than enough. Simply Goodness from Alakaya. But now I have Gift, who is calling me all the way from the capital of Bios State. Gift, welcome.
Thank you, Kalada. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Let's get your thoughts, please.
Yeah, let me start with Solomon Lenu, the spokesman of civil society in Rivers State.
Okay.
The reason why I don't take him seriously, Kalada, is this. You can imagine civil society body that is supposed to be a pressure body is the one that is even trying to set confusion. What kind of talk is this one? That the body is not ready, that the governor has not done any preparation, and all the rest. When we were talking about the governor not coming up with any iota of conducting election, these guys were against us. Now, at the end of the day, after the illegal body called caretaker, as far as the law of Nigeria is concerned, the Constitution and Supreme Court that have said it over and over, these guys were kicking against anybody who is trying to point out these hard facts, like your program. Now, today, look at what Solomon Lenu is telling you and I will not listen to him. Research. All right. If you would, thing they want to conduct 1st of July.
All right.
They should go ahead with it. They should not listen to him. Then talk about the bomb issue. That bomb matter, as far as I'm concerned. Imagine a situation where someone who is the commissioner for health came out to raise alarm. At the end of the day, a criminal or a terrorist, because that act is terrorist act, went to a government hospital, Canada. Can you do that?
Yeah. So we had the argument. You can beat it. I mean, at the point of emergency, I have been told that you would do anything to save your life. I mean, it's not a laughing matter.
Canada, my brother.
At the point of death.
I want to come with my own HardFacts.
Okay.
500 meters. That was what the commissioner of police said. 500 meters away from Hotel Presidential, but Our Excellency is telling you and I that dynamite will be thrown from 500 meters to bring down Hotel Presidential.
Okay, all right. All right.
All
right, Gift. I've got to go. I've got to go. Thank you. Jude from Amuma is on the line. Jude, let's get your thoughts, please.
Canada, let me speak from what Senator Ojus Okalo said, that he is going to meet with President Tinubu and former governor of Rivers State on weekend to find a solution to Rivers' political crisis.
All right.
I guess, and I believe firmly, Senator Ojus Okalo can handle it, because Ojus Okalo handed over to Theodore Orji, if I'm right, Theodore Orji handed over to him as governor. And I know pretty well, he didn't subject Theodore Orji to licking his bottom. No, he allowed him to govern Abia State for a period he was a governor without that intrusion. Now, what I don't understand or believe is that he is going to bring peace. His meeting with President Tinubu or Wike is going to bring peace in Rivers State. No. Because the agenda of these two people is to subject Rivers people to what we are facing now. Because they are not allowing Governor Fubara free hand to govern Rivers State. And Rivers people have taken a stand. That stand is now a movement. If you know what a movement I'm talking about, you don't stop a movement. You have gotten to a point of movement in Rivers State. Support movement. What do we need now? Justice.
All right.
Justice for Rivers people.
All right.
Justice for the governor, Fubara, to govern Rivers State.
All right, I've got to go, Jude. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I've got Dakuku from Eche. Dakuku, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you. Hello, Dakuku, are you there?
Hello, good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Dakuku.
This is Dakuku from Eche, the spokesman of Eche.
Okay.
Hello, you people are talking about the visit of senators in Rivers State. I hope. Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, Canada. I'm thank the senators and also the chairman of the committee, being Honorable Ojus Okalo. I know he is a man who stands on his word. So listen to me. For them to come up and find out that in Rivers State there was no crisis, I'm so happy. You know, the incident was able to happen where the largest tragedy in the state. And they know the guy, they should be held him responsible. And him should bring those who sent him to throw dynamite in that area. I don't tell you, Rivers State is peaceful. And nothing is happening. That is the present way into Rivers State problem. So not how to resolve this crisis in Rivers State. I know the problem is because of greediness. And the criminals who have in this state. I don't tell you. Wherever criminals and greediness together, that area, that community, so
all right.
live in
All right.
peace.
All right.
Because of that, the person will be on top, rule, control the resources of the community. It cannot function.
All right. Thank you very much.
There was no problem. But look at what is happening.
All right.
What am I talking about?
All right. Thank you very much, Dakuku. Dakuku.
The president come up and know. If it is in me, I will tell the president to touch on the Minister of Security. And tell him what to do.
Okay.
And look at how the local government is. All the way to the three local government was being bracketed by police. What are
right, thank you, Dakuku. Your point has been noted. Your point has been, but I've got to go really this time. I'm going to read some messages on Facebook before I get to JJ's message. Samita Paul de Rome says, Southern governors say states to negotiate minimum wage. This is very unreasonable of them. If such is allowed, Canada, these men will play with the workers, claiming lack of money, and they might wake up any time to reduce the money paid. They just want to control everything. But to be realistic, the federal government should increase the money to 100,000, as this will be very appreciative, and Labour should reduce the asking price, as it is not realistic to pay by the federal government. We want governors to negotiate with workers as we... Okay, so we don't want governors to negotiate with workers as we trust the Labour on this one. Alerus Spieth says, good afternoon, Canada. I totally agree with Governor Fubara on the explosive issue, but I don't know why that young man did not die to serve as a lesson to others. Yes, it will be good for states to negotiate their own minimum wage as their strength can carry, because all fingers are not equal. Newton Ikira says, River CSO raises doubt over RISIEC's capacity to conduct council elections. Did RISIEC complain to anyone that they are not capable of conducting elections in River State? Southern governors say each state should be allowed to negotiate minimum wage. Yes. Do they? Yes, so that they can give them grandnuts money. And then you hissed, I guess. But back to the phone line, I've got JJ. JJ from Bodaka Township, welcome. What is on your mind?
Canada, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, welcome.
Yes, let me go on the bomber or the dynamite thrower or whatever.
A bomber, anyone goes, anyone.
Okay, fine. Let me put it this way. You remember in Afghanistan, those videos we see in the news, or those big international news outlets, many a times it's not about bringing down the building. It's about causing scare, like the governor has said, so that the high-profile people that are in there will take a message to whatever they are going to, that look, true, the state not safe. And that has been their result after the hope that the Supreme Court would have nullified the case of our governor. That didn't work. They now call for impeachment. That also didn't work. They now give a marching order again to those who they think have moved to their own path. That's the APC technical chairman also mandated them to impeach the governor. That didn't work. They now call for state of emergency. And people are asking questions, what is the emergency? So they wanted to answer the question with this scare, like bombing, not necessarily the hotel, so that people can now rush that. Do you know how many people that in your hotel presidential we're talking right now?
All right.
So if there is an explosive, bro, that is the situation they want to create so that they can pass their emergency situation. And at the end of the day, I hope you understand what I'm saying right now. But on the case of somebody that is injured, will go to government hospital. Canada, you see, our people say something, that somebody that has running stomach does not select toilet.
Okay.
Are you aware?
All right.
If you are having running stomach, do you select toilet to go to? So that person now want to be safe, and I want to thank the Commissioner for Health, and also stand low to tell the police that they acted low.
All right.
Their performance was damn too low.
All right, JJ, I've got to go.
Anything. On the commissioner came out and said, look, this is what happened, and the bomber was caught.
All right, JJ, I've got to go.
What the police doing, for goodness sake?
I've got to go.
People not to protest.
All right.
You didn't check.
Thank you very much. Of peace, the anti-20-man over government. You see, when you're serving God with the whole of your heart, God will also fight for you. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty to put down any strongholds. You don't go and fight your enemies with guns. With prayer, you will conquer them. With prayer, the governor is praying, and the light is shining in River State, because darkness and light doesn't work together. But light has taken over River State.
All right.
So our enemies will put them to shame. The dynamite they want to throw in presidential is to scare those people so that they will carry bad results to Bola Tinubu. But God is in River State. My governor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ida. Thank you very much.
Our enemies, they will gather to plan.
but their plan will never come to pass.
All right, thank you, Ida from Inkora. I've got to move on now. My time is limited. But I've got this one. It says, oh, my. The governor of the state is right. The police should do deep investigation. I was at Abunima yesterday, privileged to what you're right, or if you can prove it, what you've heard. All right. Okay, Matt said, and you also said there is nothing left in Abunima local government council, not even the AC. The outgoing chairman should be probed. How did you get access to the local government council? But I've got Daniel from Ozoaba texting. I can guarantee you that we will never hear any outcome of the so-called investigation. The governor has already told us which party is involved in the attempted bombing. I just pity the governor because it feels like he's alone in this fight. Not even his party cares. As for RISIEC, they should go ahead to conduct election to put an end to this whole confusion. However, they have to be very careful to avoid causing further damages to the injury. Till now, the governors are still talking about minimum wage. If this was about buying SUVs, jets, or spending for their comfort, they will do it swiftly. But when it concerns the ordinary citizens, they dilly-dally like snail. Anyway, I blame Labour in all this. Daniel, thank you very much. Anna says, I think I agree with the southern governors. Each state should be allowed to negotiate minimum wage because what Lagos state can pay, Plateau state may not be able to pay. Lastly, no matter how hard they are trying to portray Rivers State right now, federal government will not declare a state of emergency. And last, everybody, good day, all right. I greet you. Anna, thank you very much. I like your message. This one says, good afternoon, Canada. Actually, some of the things the governor of Rivers State has tolerated, you can try during the time of ex-governor Wike, but since the governor has realized there are distractions aimed at stopping him from achieving good for the state, he should hasten up because before he knows it, 2027 will be here. From my assessment, the distraction is actually working since there hasn't been any employment, major investment that I know of into the state's economy, slow growth in education and healthcare. Mike from Thai. All right, Mike, thank you very much. I do appreciate your message there. Let's see this one. This one says, Canada, good afternoon. The governor said it about 3 days ago. It is all about the state resources. That's why those people are fighting him. Fubara, thank you very much. And this one says, good afternoon, Canada. The governor has said it all. We are all from River State and know the pro-Wike group antics. Do these people think that the power to declare state of emergency resides with the president? For their information, there are some states in the north that need state of emergency. They should please let us breathe some fresh air. How does the FCD minister feel when his name is on air every day? Let their inordinate ambition not be like when Mr. Tortoise was heading for an aimless journey. When asked when he will come back, he answered, I will not come back until I am completely disgraced. Odimegu Sonny Didia from Umerelu. Oh, what a way to put your parable. I've got so many messages. Where do I start from now? But this one says, good afternoon, brother. About the explosion close to Hotel Presidential, God is with the governor and Rivers people are with the governor. Enemies try, enemies fail. God will continue to expose them. They will not get the state of emergency. We will grow and God will give the governor the wisdom to rule. Those that are sending other people's children to go and cause problems, where are their children and their wives and their siblings? They are outside Nigeria enjoying in the Caribbeans. They cannot use me for a boogie ride. Ibiso with that one. Okay. Approaching another commercial break. This is it is not just River State. This is not yet my conversation, so I'm going to skip that one. This one says, man of the people, their plan to declare state of emergency in River State and paint the state black has failed. River State is a safe and secured. River State is safe and secure under the leadership of Governor Sim Fubara. Thank God I believe you to agree with that one. This one says, good afternoon, Canada. Please, boss. This one says, I want to correct a particular caller's description of Senator Orji Uzakalu. Please, Senator Orji Uzakalu had similar issues with Senator D.A. Orji. We can fact check. Nigerian politicians are the same. Nigerians need laws that will stop this war between successors and predecessors, especially between governors. Thanks, Alex Ramoji. Thank you for that correction. This one is saying, inform your caller who was laughing because the bomber was found in River State University Teaching Hospital. Now, those who brought him to the hospital claimed that the guy was involved in a road traffic accident. Okay, from Remote Maya. And I'm going to take one final one. I've been following the discussion on the river situation and the dynamite issue. Interestingly, someone said the agenda of the president and the FCD ministers subject River State to their total control. You didn't even check or stop him. But you'll never allow someone go close to saying that about the people we know you support. It is well. Bright from Igruta. All right. This one says, what the governor said is correct. So people who don't mean well for River State should stop deceiving themselves because of selfish interest. Shame, confidence in Leverdom. This one says, Michael Olugu from Aba. Governor Fubara is right by saying that the dynamite is intended to paint the state in a bad light before the Senate, so that the state of emergency in Rivers State. Secondly, the state police commissioner is not helping mountains after giving marching orders to both sides when they allow pro-weekend group to have their way. That is, there is God, you said. But there is a commercial coming up, and after that, I'd like to get your thoughts, and I'd like us to, but maybe I can squeeze in one more message. Melody reports says, I agree with the governor. The police doesn't need forensic investigation to know the source of the bomber. They can easily trace the prevailing motives, like that of those who want to create fake and imaginary state of emergency. Police should use the kind of wisdom used by King Solomon when the two women dragged the baby in the Bible. The bomber tactically chose a location like Presidential Hotel where the bomb will make great impact. The announcement made by the health commissioner was supposed to be made by police, if not for their compromise. Oji Carlos' intervention should be towards justice, not just peace. For peace without justice is a mirage. Oh my. I've got a very short commercial. When I do come back, I take a call or two, and then we'll wrap it up and go in for the business update. Stay tuned, please.